Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Vasyl Lomachenko outboxes, beats down, and stops George Kambosos in the 11th round to win the vacant IBF lightweight title. What can I say about this fight aside from domination? Up until the stoppage, George Kambosos, in my opinion, had no argument to win a single round. Comprehensively outworked, outlanded in each round. And not only was Lomachenko completely outboxing and outlanding Kambosos, he was also landing the far better shots as well. Shots that were slowly breaking down George Kambosos. From early on, you could see Kambosos, you could see his face mark up, bruise up. You could see the signs of damage and the signs of battle on his face. And it was a slow beatdown. After like the 4th round maybe, the only thing interesting about this fight was whether Lomachenko could stop Kambosos, who, as we know, is a pretty tough guy. He's shown a pretty good chin in his career. That's one thing I will say about Kambosos. He is tough. So for me, after like the 4th round, it was just whether Lomachenko could force the stoppage and make that sort of statement. And he did. Overall, Lomachenko started this fight a lot quicker than he did against Tio, for example. Right from the halfway point of round 1, Lomachenko took centre ring. He was becoming aggressive. You know, he was really punishing Kambosos with his lead hand. That corkscrew jab off a level change was a really good shot for Lomachenko throughout this fight. Lomachenko asserted his lead hand dominance very early in this fight, and after that it was basically a wrap. You know, the jab of Lomachenko was very effective, very varied as well. He was also working off that jab with his right hand out of that southpaw stance. The right hook of Lomachenko was hard for Kambosos to contend with, both to head and body. And yeah, basically, like, at the end of round 1, Lomachenko had already set what sort of fight this was going to be. Kambosos was kind of sitting back and waiting. He was trying to counter with his straight right and left hook. And occasionally he would get through with something here and there, but nothing of any consequence. In the first few rounds, Kambosos tried to punch with Lomachenko in a few exchanges. Got a couple of shots off here and there, but he got the worst of those exchanges. And you could see round by round, Kambosos, his desire, not desire per se, but his willingness to open up was diminishing round by round as he was getting caught by more and more shots. Round 4 in particular was a crazy round. Lomachenko just went to town on Kambosos. He outlanded him something like 24 shots to 1. Round 4 was uber dominant, and to be honest, most of these rounds were for Lomachenko, but round 4 in particular, Kambosos sustained a lot of punishment. And yeah, I mean, it's basically your typical Lomachenko fight where he's firing on all cylinders. You know, he was showing Kambosos the angles, the level changes. Kambosos was biting on so many Lomachenko feints. You know, it was a case of paralysis by analysis. You know, I'm sure there was a million thoughts going through Kambosos' mind, but he wasn't acting, you know. He was just totally bogged down by the angles, the footwork, the foot speed, the offense of Lomachenko, and he couldn't cope. Throughout this fight, he was barely in position to throw. In terms of balance, he couldn't really get purchase in his punches or power in his punches. The only real success Kambosos had at times was some occasional body shots, the left hook to the body and like a scooping right hand to the body. Aside from that, he really didn't have any success. But anyway, as the fight played out, Lomachenko maintained his dominance. Kambosos had a cut over his eye, I believe his right eye, which was getting worse as the fight went on. Blood wasn't going in his eye though, it was to the side of his eye. But you could see his face getting marked up. And round 11 was where the fight ended. Lomachenko came out strong once again. And he actually catches Kambosos with like a scooping left hand to the body almost like a, not a bolo punch, but yeah, like a scooping sort of shovel hook to the body. It drops Kambosos, delayed reaction. He was hurt by the shot, felt it, beats the count. Lomachenko gets back on top of him, spams body punches, left hands to the body, and Kambosos, the referee waves it off basically. Kambosos goes down, referee waves it off, corner throws in the towel. And there's not too much to report here other than Lomachenko did what I expected him to do against Kambosos. I was expecting a big performance by Lomachenko because I've never been that high on Kambosos. He's a tough guy, but, like I've always been saying, I felt the Teofimo fight kind of flattered him, to be honest. I just felt he was in the right place, right time that night. And, to me, George is, at best, a lower level top 10 contender in terms of level. But, he's a tough guy. He wants to fight for best. I do give him that credit, but he doesn't belong at this sort of level, in my opinion. He can't hang with these sort of guys, in my opinion. And we saw it here tonight against Lomachenko, first time he's been stopped. And we'll see what happens with Kambosos going forwards. Maybe he wants to continue. I mean, I'm sure he can make some good money in Australia. And I think if you match Kambosos with the right sort of guys, you're going to get fun fights. But for me, he shouldn't really be in the mix for the foreseeable future unless he picks up some good wins. But as for Lomachenko, I mean, for me, the fight that makes sense would be the winner of Emmanuel Navarrete versus Denis Berinchik. That fight goes down next weekend. That is for the vacant WBO lightweight title, I believe. So there's going to be a champion there. Of course, Navarrete is a top-ranked fighter, as is Lomachenko. I expect Navarrete to beat Berinchik. So Navarrete versus Lomachenko unification fight towards later this year, in my opinion, would be a very good fight. Very good fight. That's what I want to see personally. And then after that, whoever wins, then we can look at a Shakur fight maybe. Good performance by Loma. Did what he had to do, in my opinion. I'm not going to go overboard on it. But he looked good. He looked good. Share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy. Peace.